Welcome to the Bookish Spell, your cozy corner for all things bookish. I'm Angie, your host, and each week I'll be diving into the magical world of books, sharing reviews, author interviews, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday, so grab a cup of coffee and get ready to turn the page with me.
On to the Bookish Spell. I'm glad to finally speak with you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. So why don't you start off by telling us who you are and what you write?
My name is Sydney Jasperson. I write mostly fantasy.
Okay.
I like to call it whimsical fantasy because it's along the lines of Howl's Moving Castle, where I don't want to say that it doesn't make sense because it does make sense. It's just not specifically, elves, dragons, Lord of the Rings type fantasy. It's more like everyday with a little bit of magic mixed in
I love
in
that.
sort of a silly way, not so.
I love that. All right. And do you currently have a book out already?
No, I'm actually working on my debut novel. It's completely finished. It's just in the process of being edited right now.
Oh, all right. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start writing or where your writing journey began.
Well, I honestly don't know if I could tell you what inspired me to write. I think of it just as my life's purpose. I started telling stories when I was really young at Girl Scout camp. It was, like around the campfire type things. And I became one of the older campers, young camp. You get sort of not paired up with younger kids because that's what the counselors are there for. But younger kids would come to me for comfort when they couldn't the counselors because my tent would be closer or something. And them sort of a silly little story would help calm them down. When I got into school, my teachers encouraged me to participate in young authors, and we won a lot of first place prizes for young authors several times.
Wow.
I have a pin somewhere. I don't know if I can find it right now. I'm in the process of packing, so some of my stuff might be put away, but when you get first place, they give you a little pin that says Young Author Award, and I've got a couple of those.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, so tell us a little bit about your current work in progress. You have a debut novel coming out. Tell us what's it about, the name of it.
The title is called Fallen Star. It is about a clan of fairies, specifically the eldest daughter. I myself am the eldest daughter. I'm the eldest daughter of an eldest daughter of an eldest daughter. So, yeah, so the burdens being the eldest daughter and how like you're parentified and just sort of like all of the stresses that come with being the eldest child. And the main character is the eldest child. She's a girl, so she's not technically the heir to her. It's not a kingdom. So her parents are a duke and a duchess. So she would just inherit their title, which is just land and people to look after. It's several steps below a king and a queen, and even the princesses and stuff like that. So they're important, but they're like the important people.
Oh, yeah.
So she was sent away to sort of, well, I got to back up a little bit. I'm so sorry. So her family is an experimental clan. Her mom is from the light fairies and her dad is from the dark fairies. So together they make the star fairies. So she is the first star and her sister is the second star, and then they have a little brother who would be considered the heir, but because he's so young, they're not really focused on him. Because she's the first star, she's sent to travel the country, which I made a country called Mythenia. It's rooted in the Greek word for mythos and land. So she's sent to travel around and sort of like a circus almost. She's supposed to show off her powers and show people, what a star fairy does.
Okay,
And
perfect.
also to learn about the other important kingdoms in their land. And then
Ooh,
spends a year in the human realm to learn about the humans, because it's set in pre-medieval ages, so way before the plague happens,
yeah.
thankfully. But sort of around the time that fairy tales were coming into play in the human world. So the communication between fairies and humans is still very much alive, and there's not really any fear of fairies or humans either way. So she spends some time in the human world, and the book starts off when she's coming back. So she's excited to go home. She's reminiscing about the relationship that she's had with her family. She's very excited to go home because she misses her siblings. And when she gets home, she finds total chaos. Everything is not the way that it. Her siblings are mad at her. Her parents are at each other's throats. And she's been betrothed to a complete and utter stranger.
Oh,
She shows up expecting a homecoming, a big party, basically.
right.
People going, yay, our firstborn is back. And, the townspeople excited to see her because she's been a big part of the town since it was built. But she comes home and nobody's there. There's no party. Nobody's excited to see her. And the first thing that her mom says is, yeah, it's nice to see you. By the way, we picked a husband for you.
Oh,
So I think,
I feel like I can relate to that. Okay, good. That sounds so interesting.
thank you.
So when is it? Do you have an expected date of when it might be released?
I'm using Kickstarter as a pre-order page. My Kickstarter launches in May, and the release date for my book is June 4th.
No.
Anybody who supports my Kickstarter will technically get it before everybody,
Mm-mm.
but also probably not, just because I have to ship things. So the official release date for, like, if you wanted to buy it on Amazon, or I'm using Ingram Spark. Ingram Sparks is good. It helps you get into bookstores. So it'll be released, I think it's just nationwide at first. So nationwide on June 4th.
So how excited are you?
I'm really excited.
So exciting.
It's a little nerve-wracking just
Mm.
because the more editing that gets done, the more I'm nervous that, maybe my manuscript isn't all that good.
No. Are you choosing self-publish?
Yes.
Good.
I I wanted to create my own cover. I've
Yeah.
been an artist as long as I've been an author.
Oh, nice.
So I made my own cover, and I was really proud of it. When I started looking into publishing companies, a lot of them come with the caveat that you have to go with a cover that they picked.
Yeah.
And that made me really sad. I was like, no, I made my own. Don't you love it as much as me?
Yeah, I know. I hear that a lot from a lot of the other authors I speak with. So I feel like you've picked a good choice to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it feels more like you've accomplished something a bit more validating when you're kind of doing it all by yourself.
I hope so.
I think
Right,
you will.
feels like a lot of work. There's a lot of moving.
I can only imagine. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You editing it all by yourself as well?
No,
Or you have somebody?
I
Okay.
I have an old college friend who majored in English, and she's editing it for me. Thankfully, I don't think I could do it on my own. She's also been encouraging me, sending me messages, oh, this part's really amazing. And
All right, I'm happy to hear that. Good. So tell us a little bit about what is your favorite part of the writing process and why?
my favorite part has to be the story building, which is the very beginning, just because I think the way that I've figured out how to do my stories is it's fun. I know that everybody likes to come up with characters and world build, but it's more about the like scene writing for me. I take a piece of paper, like a piece of printer paper, and I fold it into fourths, and each one of those sections is a scene. So I start off with like bullet points of what I would like to happen in the story. And then I take my quartered paper and I write out, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, just little snippets of what I would like to happen.
Nice.
Then I take that to a journal and write in a journal everything that, point A to point B.
Very interesting. That sounds pretty helpful. So I feel like other listeners will definitely love to hear that. Do you have a like writing routine or a specific like ritual or habit that you do to stay productive?
So right now, like I said, I'm moving, so all of my writing is paused. But while I was writing, my mornings were completely blocked out for writing. So I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I talk to a friend for an hour while she gets ready for work. And then from about 7 till noon, I just am completely writing. Just that 100% of the time. Of course, I take breaks, but my brain also needs sound, and I can't work with music, unfortunately. So I watch crime documentaries. They're just
Oh, nice.
playing in the background while my brain is coming up with these cutesy little fairy fantasy stories.
So do you feel that it's just easier? Are you more productive writing in the daytime versus the night? Because majority of authors tend to write at nighttime.
Yeah, the night has been working out for me just because that's when it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I live with roommates right now, and they are most active at night.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, their active noise is really disruptive to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like video games, talking, and cooking. I'm more interested in what they're doing than what I'm supposed to be doing. So the mornings are very quiet, and I can make all the noise that I need to make.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear because I feel like I was alone. I tend to be more productive in the morning. Like even though like reading, people who just reading your book. It's all over like social media, like they read to like 4 or 5 in the morning. I can't do that. For some reason, I can't. I'll fall asleep, and there are times like I'm reading the page while sleeping, and I have no idea what I just read. It's like I find myself reading it over and over. So I tend to do my reading, writing, or whatever in that morning. Maybe it's my brain's so exhausted at the night that I'm done for the day at night. So it's nice to hear that because I feel like as an aspiring writer myself, which I just kind of only worked on the first chapter so far, I feel like the morning just feels better. So it's nice to hear that. All right, so tell us a little bit of your approach when it comes to developing your characters. Are they inspired by people that you know, or did you just totally come up with
So the series that I'm working, well, I don't know if it's technically called a series. It's
them?
either
Okay.
a fiction or a chronicle because the characters won't ever come back. So all the characters from Fallen Star aren't going to show up in the next book. Um, Fallen Star is based off of me. So, and then the book that comes after it is called The Tooth Fairy Slayer, and that's based off of my friend Trina.
Aw.
She had some really terrible things happen to her by a very bad man, and I wanted to make her feel better. So I wrote that one's finished, by the way. I completely finished that one. I was gonna publish,
Yay.
and then I was like, wait, no, I should publish the one about me first. But her story's done. It's sort of a more fantastical retelling about what happened to her and her daughter overcoming that,
Aw.
and they slay it very.
I love
Uh,
it.
so a lot of the characters are based off of my friends, the main characters. I've sort of portioned out a story for each one of my friends.
Oh, nice.
There are a couple stories that I have planned that I have two of my friends in them. just because I think that they would work really well together. But for the most part, the main characters are based off of my friends and my friends' life events. And then all the side characters and whatnot are just figments of my imagination.
Nice. Do you have any themes or messages that you do try to explore in your stories?
I think for the most part, each one of the stories is unique.
Mm.
For my story, it's that so for Fallen Star, it's that you don't have to be what people expect you to be. You can be
Ooh,
a
nice.
person,
Yep.
which is what all of us eldest daughters need to hear.
Mhm.
For Tooth Fairy Slayer, it's that bad people don't win. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how long it takes,
Mhm.
just will prevail.
Nice.
And the only other story that I have semi fleshed out is my friend Amanda's story. It's about a garden fairy,
I love
and
it.
the story for her is basically that love will find a way.
Aw.
Grows up in like an abusive household with people who use love as a weapon.
Yeah.
And in the end, she ends up with a family that cares about her and true love because she did want a romantic story. So that love will find a way.
Nice. Sorry, I was gonna sneeze. Okay, well, I love that. Next question was gonna be if you plot or you're pantser, but I feel like you plot.
Um, I am a planner whole life.
Good.
Do I actually use planners? No. Do I
Yeah.
plans up in my head? Yes.
Good. Good. All right. And have you ever faced writer's block? If so, how do you overcome it?
Yes. I was really stuck with how to start Fallen Star.
Yeah.
You want that hook to be amazing. You wanted to catch everybody who opens your book, but uh, I don't. Let's see. How did I get over that? I wrote out multiple different starts. I
Oh, really?
tried like 4 or 5 different starts to it. And then I just took a break. I kept all of my writing tools with me in case something changed, but I took a break so that I wasn't feeling so much pressure because I think that's what was holding me back was
Mm-hmm.
all the stress and the pressure of needing it to be perfect when it need to be perfect. It just needed to be started.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And do you have any authors or books that influenced you or your writing style?
Let's see. Well,
Oh,
let me just pull them off. So, uncannily enough, they're all about dragons.
okay.
This one, The First Truth, is about a girl that finds out that her dad hid magic from the world. He hid it away in their house, and she goes to a fortress to unlock magic and gets stuck there. I have the rest of them, but I haven't finished it. But this book got me over my eating disorder.
Nice.
I had trouble eating for the longest time in high school,
Oh,
and this author described food just so well that I wanted to
you're
eat.
hungry? Who's the author?
Dawn Cook, which is a pen name, I think. I can't remember what her real name is, but the author is Dawn Cook. It'll come up with her real name if you Google it. And then my mom read us the Jennifer Scales series. I only remember the first book, but it's about a girl whose bloodline transforms into dragons with the full moon, which was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
The first book is just her dealing with becoming a dragon, and I think transforms on the eve of a school dance, like every teen shapeshifter book.
Nice.
but I never heard of dragon shifters before, so that was really interesting. And just the pacing in it, I think, influenced my pacing. And then the world building. This is Talon and the Dragons of Crenella by Diana Metz. Apparently she's a popular author, but I did not know that.
Okay.
Humans and dragons learning to get along and not fight so much. There is a wizard that comes around every 100 years or so that is supposed to be the bridge between the worlds. And Talon is the one who he runs into the previous wizard, and that wizard dies and gives him his magic. And so Talon becomes the new wizard. So the book is about him going to all of the human realm, the human leaders, saying, you know, I'm the new wizard, come to me with your problems. And then he has to go to the dragons and do the same thing and sort of prove his worth. So yeah, it'll be those three.
Nice. They all sound really interesting. I'm gonna have to look into those.
Yeah.
I love dragon books. All right, and
tons of dragon books.
Right. Do you have what is one of your favorite books to read?
It's this one. This one is my
favorite.
First Truth. It was just the way the author described everything. He just fully sucked you in.
That's how I felt about Aragon. Aragon was my first fantasy book. I think it was I don't know, 16. And it was the first time I read it because I read Harry Potter and the series of unfortunate events and all those. But reading Aragon, it was the first time oh wow, I felt like I was in this story. I seen it so vividly that I feel like that is how the movie was. I never seen Aragon the movie. So when I heard it was not good, right?
It's not.
That's what everyone said. So I never watched it, but the book was it's still one of my favorite books. That is what made me love reading was Aragon. Or love dragons, I should say. And oddly enough, I've never read the other Aragon books. So I need to take a month and read the rest. But I don't know. Those were my favorite. Okay. Now, my next question for you is what's the most challenging part of writing and how do you deal with it?
Editing.
Yeah.
So editing and typing the last 5 chapters
Really?
because I am impatient.
I
have the patience of a goldfish. I wrote my books out in a journal, like I was telling you. And once I could tell that I was so sorry, I'm grabbing it. This is my journal.
You wrote your book and
yep, I wrote it out by hand, just so that I had it out of my head. So when I was typing it, when I knew I was getting to the end, and I was like, okay, there's 5 more left. I was like, okay, let's just skip all of these details and get to the end. And my husband had to stop me and be like, no, you wrote those details for a reason. You need to go back and fix that. You need to type it the way you wrote it.
Oh, I still can't believe you wrote most of it down.
I wrote the whole thing out.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. All 42 chapters.
Oh my God. Here. That's amazing to have.
Yeah. They're chunky.
Oh, it's amazing. Now, can you share any memorable feedback or maybe reviews that you received from what you wrote?
So far, it's just been my editor. I've been reading little snippets on my TikTok. Some of the snippets have gotten back just, wonderful. The one that I posted this morning, somebody called devastating, which, that's a very unique compliment to evoke that kind of message. But mostly so far, we're only through the first quarter in editing, and my editor said that she just wants to stop editing and read it.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah. I need her to edit it, though. So yeah. I
keep
reminding her, please keep editing.
So did you have any beta readers?
No, I wasn't comfortable doing any beta reading just because I would need it to be like close family or friends.
Oh yeah.
Heard a lot of horror stories about people's manuscripts being stolen, and I would be heartbroken if somebody stole my manuscript. I don't even know what I would do.
Right.
And as much as I care about my family and friends, I don't know if they would be genuine in their feedback. I think they would be very kind
Yeah.
and sympathetic to me, but they
Mhm.
wouldn't give me true feedback.
Mhm.
So I'm waiting until it's fully edited, and then I'm going to send it to a small group of people that I trust
Mhm.
that will give me honest and real feedback.
Okay.
They don't like fantasy books,
Mhm.
but they like me.
Nice. Okay, well, I do wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you.
And how do you stay motivated to write?
Um, Kind of like I said earlier, I feel like it's my life's purpose, and
Good.
I've had to battle depression most of my life,
Yeah.
constantly wondering what I'm supposed to do here on this planet. And once I figured out that writing was what I was supposed to do, that's just what gets me up in the morning is I'm
Okay.
supposed to be an author, so I got to keep doing it.
Do you have any specific genres you love to explore in the future?
I think I want to try some thriller.
Interesting.
I just because I like crime documentaries and I like the puzzle of it. I used
Mm,
to read a lot of mystery, so um, it would be fun to see if maybe I could do that. But I still might have to revert back to fantasy.
mhm. I feel like, fantasy, the it's limitless. You can literally create everything that you want. Thriller, it's like they're mostly the same. You have that suspense, but you need a huge plot twist that you'll never expect at the ending.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you have a little, you could come up with whatever you want when you're writing fantasy.
and maybe
Yeah.
a fantasy mystery thriller. Who knows?
Maybe, that would be fun to read, actually. Do you have any favorite scenes or chapters you've written?
So it's kind of sad that this is my favorite scene, but um the ones that I'm most proud of are there's a scene where, so like I said, she gets betrothed
Mm,
and they sort of ambush her with her wedding. It's supposed to be another event entirely, and the queen just sort of makes a wedding happen, and she gathers up the courage to just walk away, to just leave. And that's what gets her in trouble. And the way that I end it, I feel like I did a really good job. I don't want to spoil it too much,
yeah.
but you know, she leaves and they stop her. And that's where the chapter ends, is where they stop her. So like fade to black. And then it
Mm,
opens up the next chapter where she's in prison
mm,
and she starts to discover all the things that they did to her while she was knocked out. So, she's a fairy. She no longer has wings, and her hands and feet have been burned like up to past her wrist, so she can't do magic anymore.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to ask if she gets her magic back, but we'll wait
Uh,
to read the book. No?
no,
Oh my gosh.
she can do little magic. So like it's called baby magic,
Oh yeah.
like all of the magic that like toddlers have. Um, it's not anything specific to her bloodline. Like she can't do star magic anymore, but
Oh
she
my
can,
gosh.
like levitate and transformation magic and like conjuring a couple things, but she's really hesitant to do more because fairies have sort of like a limit of magic in them. It's what keeps them alive. It's what makes them fairies. And
Mhm.
you ever want to run out of that. It would be like using up your spirit for things.
Wow.
So like she still has some magic, but it's like the tiniest bit.
Aww. I'm really excited to read this.
I'm glad. Thank you.
All right. And what advice would you give to other inspiring writers?
For other aspiring writers, I would say to just write the story. It doesn't matter if it sounds like somebody else's story.
Mm.
If you think that there's already 100 stories just like it on the page, you're going to tell it uniquely because you're coming up with it. Nobody else can tell the story that you're telling.
Good advice. Good advice. Now, for the fun part, I'm gonna ask you a series of questions to get to know you as a person that are not about your writing.
Okay.
So my first question to you is, do you have any hobbies or interests outside of writing?
Yes, I like to draw.
Yeah.
I have my husband bought me an iPad, and I've been drawing on Procreate for about 6.5 years now. I also do needlework, like embroidery, and
Oh,
knit.
nice. What is your favorite thing that you knitted?
Um, well, I'm not the best knitter. I
Mm.
can only knit squares, so that usually ends up being scarves. And unfortunately, they're cursed scarves. Um,
Oh,
Everyone that I've given a scarf to has left my life in a very dramatic way. So I don't make scarves anymore.
aw. So at least you know if you want to get somebody out of your life
I just make
quietly, just make a scarf. Now, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
all of my friends know this answer.
Oh,
Ireland.
nice.
The reason I have no idea. Ireland has just been calling to me since I found out.
Really? Aw. Have you ever visited?
No,
Mm,
so we were supposed to go for our honeymoon,
yeah.
but my husband changed his mind at the last minute because I'm
Mm.
making jokes that I might not come back.
Oh, that's funny.
So he was like, on second thought, how about we not do that?
Well, I
I'm
hope you get to go one day.
Me too. I'm from a state that is like basically all desert, and Ireland just sounds so magical with all of its lush greenery and rain.
Where are you from?
I'm from Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming.
It's basically a giant cat box.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, so like that too.
Desert.
That's it. What's your go-to comfort food or favorite meal?
Favorite meal is soup.
Oh,
Comfort
no.
food is anything with frosting.
Oh, really? Nice. What's your favorite soup?
I have palate of a toddler. It's chicken and stars, chicken noodle soup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. We ate that a lot growing up, and I remember eating Campbell's of chicken noodle soup when I was like 14, 15, like it's kid food, but I was still eating it.
I love soup. Soup is a great thing to eat. It's only hard to eat in the summer when it gets too hard, when it gets too hot here.
That is true. We do know what they say. I think it was Japanese, Japan, or Korea. I can't remember. That's why they drink hot all year round because when you're drinking something hot and it's hot outside, and that your temperature like matches the outside temperature, and
Hmm.
then it feels so hot for you.
Right.
So I remember me and my sister used to do that. We lived in San Francisco, so and it's like freezing in San Francisco. So when it was cold and we would go to like Starbucks or whatever, we would get iced coffee, frappuccino instead of hot. So by the time you finished your ice drink and we're like walking downtown or whatever shopping in San Francisco, wasn't that cold anymore because now our body temperature got it's colder. So you just don't feel that cold. Here in Arizona, it's hot. I will drink a hot drink and like it's not that hot for me anymore because my temperature matches the outside heat.
Yeah.
We learned that a long time ago that I think it was Japan or China, one of them, they do that.
That's interesting. I might have to try that.
Yeah, drink your soup all year round. Now, the next question is: do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
I have several favorite movies and a favorite TV show. My favorite TV show is Charmed, the original Charmed.
Oh yes.
Don't talk about the new Charmed.
Mm.
Um,
I haven't watched the new one. It's bad.
what?
I haven't watched the new one. It's bad.
It's terrible. I
Mm.
watched the first episode. Have you seen the original Charmed?
Yes, I used to watch it.
Okay, so you know the beautiful sound that they give the white lighters when they orb?
Oh yeah.
That beautiful chiming. Well, now it's like a whoop.
Oh.
Yeah. The second I heard that, I was like, I'm done. Nope.
Doctor Who or something.
I'm gonna give you guys a chance, but you guys made it too silly.
Oh yeah, okay. No good. And your movies? What's your favorite movies?
I was really, really inspired by the Wonder Woman that came out with Gal Gadot. That just it sent shivers through my whole body. So that's one of my top favorites. And I've always loved Frozen. Just a comfort movie for me. I really relate to being the eldest sister.
Oh yes, definitely. But Frozen is a show really that you can watch over and over again and not get bored.
Yes.
Frozen, like my kids, I have a lot of kids. So I have teenagers and a toddler. So like, I remember my teenagers watching Frozen, and then my toddler watches it, and like I can still watch it. And it's like still a good movie. It's good. All right, and what's a fun or surprising fact about you that most people don't know?
I can make a realistic chicken noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to show us?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see.
I'm always so embarrassed by it. I remember in Girl Scouts, everybody was talking about their talents, and like I can't whistle or anything, but I can make this realistic chicken noise that other chickens get confused. Okay, I gotta get in the right headspace so I'm not myself.
Okay, come on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to get over myself just real quick.
Okay, become the chicken.
Be the chicken. Be the chicken. Free soup. I'm sorry. Okay.
God, that is really good. That is a good talent. You really do sound like a chicken.
I always thought it would come in handy when people were bullying my younger sister. I could call them a chicken and go.
Oh, there you go. Me?
But it never happened.
Oh, man. That's funny. Now, if you could meet any what's what I'm looking for? Historical figure, who would it be and why?
Princess Diana. I want to know what she knew.
Oh, that's good.
I want to know why they got rid of her. Such a genuine person. She had such heart, and she was so real.
Yeah.
And they took her away from us.
I know.
I want to know what she knew.
That is pretty scary, though.
Yeah. So
oh yeah. Are you more of a morning person or a night owl?
That's hard because I'll stay up really, really late, but I routinely get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. There's no stopping me. I will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and everybody that I'm around is a horrible morning person. Like they need coffee, they need an hour or so to just get back into themselves. And I wake up like a robot, just
Ready.
get to doing stuff, and I go do stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I always wanted to, I'm a morning person. I love my mornings, but I hate waking up early. If that makes sense.
I don't love it. It just keeps happening. And I'm restless, so I have to go do stuff. I can't just
What's a song or artist that you have been listening to on repeat lately?
Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah.
Any a specific song?
Well, got some turmoil in my life right now, so I've been listening mostly Reputation and
Okay.
trying to pump myself up that, it's okay. People treat me badly. I can handle it.
And I hope things get better soon.
Oh, thanks.
And if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Like, mostly I would love to have X-Men style wings, just bird wings attached to me because
Okay.
I think flight would be cool. I'm scared of heights, so I don't know how that would work out, but the idea of having wings has always really intrigued me. Just how that would work, what I could do with them, how clothing would work.
Okay, nice. That's a good superpower. Do you have a favorite holiday or time of the year? And what do you love about it?
I'm a big fan of Halloween. Uh, it's not so much the spooky aspect of it. I really like that Halloween is a time where everybody just sort of accepts you as you are. As a kid, you go to people's house and you ask them for treats, and they just accept your costume no matter what it is. I was the weird kid in my town because I'm from a really small town in a very small populated state. And I used to dress up as anime characters. And these people did not know what anime was. But I would sit there and I would tell them which anime character I was. And they'd go, okay, here's your Reese's. And then that was it. Like,
That's
whoa,
funny.
nobody's making fun of me. Nobody is calling me a nerd. I'm just another kid in a costume.
I love it. And what's one? Oh, my light keeps dying out. What's one thing on your bucket list you'd like to accomplish someday?
We're actually going to be accomplishing it in the next month. I wanted to be a homeowner, and we are closing on our house February 27th.
Oh, congratulations. Love that. Amazing. Now, my next question is a little more easier. Maybe not. Are you a coffee or a tea person or something else entirely?
I'm a hot chocolate person. I don't know why I did tea, and I don't really know why I don't like coffee, but I don't like tea or coffee. So when we do hot beverages, I just make hot chocolate.
So this maybe it's more common than I thought because I had author a couple weeks ago I spoke with. Her answer was the same. Hot chocolate. Wow. Okay, nice. Do you like to fix your hot chocolate a specific way? Do you drink fancy hot chocolate or just Swiss Miss?
So for just everyday hot chocolate, I do the water and powder mixture. But if if I have time to prepare real hot chocolate, I actually have a German recipe for hot chocolate where you melt chocolate bars, you get heavy whipping cream,
Right.
and you basically make the most sugary, thick hot chocolate planet, and it tastes heavenly. I love it so, but it takes like a day to make because you have to melt down the chocolate, you have to heat everything up without curdling your milk, but it's made real milk and real chocolate, so it's like
That sounds good. If you could only eat one type of cuisine the rest of your life, what would it be?
either Subway sandwiches,
Oh,
soup. Yeah, it's either Subway sandwiches or soup because you have lots of different soup technically, and always got variations.
Yeah, nice. That's a good answer, actually. What's a place you've traveled to that holds a special place in your heart?
San Diego in California. I
Really?
went for my best friend's Marine Corps graduation, and I've been to Florida, and we went to the beach in Florida, and I didn't think the beach in Florida was all that great. But when we went to the beach in San Diego, I was like, this is the coolest place I've ever been. Can we never leave this beach? I want to.
Well,
And I'm water, so that was unique.
yeah, the San Diego beaches are actually really nice.
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe Florida beaches used to be really pretty. I remember when I was younger, like a kid, but when I became an adult and I used to take my kids, I'm like, oh, what's going on? Then wasn't the same like I remembered. Very weird.
It was really weird for me because like we went when I was really young in like 2007,
Mm,
and I remember the water being murky green.
mm,
Is not a fun color for water.
mhm, mhm.
But the ones in San Diego were clear blue.
Yeah, yeah.
I like I have thousands of pictures of it. I just sat there taking pictures of the sandhill cranes and of the docks, and we went at sunset, so I got lots of beautiful sunset pictures.
Mm.
It was just a lovely
Nice.
time.
Okay, good. Good. And then my last question for you would be, how do you unwind and relax after a long day?
Usually watching TV, just sitting and turning into a vegetable on the couch, just
Mhm.
turning my brain off and watching something silly. We like to watch Bluey in our house.
Mhm.
I have no children, but me and my husband will sit down and we will watch Bluey.
That's funny.
It's not serious. I mean, it's definitely serious episodes, and they definitely have made both of us cry.
Oh,
For the most part, Bluey is unserious and a fun time.
yes, yes, yes. I do love. I don't watch Bluey that much for some reason. My toddler don't really. Oh, maybe because she watches YouTube on her iPad mostly. But like the little clips I see of Bluey like on Instagram or TikTok, it's hilarious for me because it's like always the mom stressed out and exhausted, and like they don't make it seem that way. Like you have to be an adult to notice it. But the mom needs a moment, and dad's watching the kids, and the kids always looking for the mom. Like it's funny for me. But I do make it like it's for kids, but it definitely has that adult humor in it, is what I gathered Bluey has.
It also has like pretty hard hitting adult messages in
Mhm,
there,
yeah, that's what I
which
heard.
is like there's an episode that guts me every time. I could
Aw,
right now and I would start sobbing by the end of it.
that's so sad.
Where one of the dogs makes she like has problems making friends and she makes
Aw.
bingo. And at
Mm.
the end of the episode, they're like, I hope we stay friends forever and ever and ever and ever. And each one of the evers is punctuated by a picture of them graduating different classes.
Aw.
It just kills me. It's just
Aw.
the entire time.
That's so sad. All right, Sydney. Well, I kept you on for a while. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I'm excited to read your book, so congratulations on it.
Thank you.
Um, yeah. So I'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Bookish Spell. I hope you enjoyed our magical bookish journey together. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to leave a review. It really helps. I'll be back next Wednesday with more enchanting stories and author insights. Until next time, keep the magic alive in your hearts and on your bookshelves.